today. Let me hear your war cry, boy. I tell you, you got to get excited. You got to get excited about today's episode because we've been having a really good run of great guests on our Warrior Wednesday. And it's really, you guys are sharing the videos and it's great feedback. Been getting really good feedback. And the dialogue, the Q&A, and other people that have shared similar experiences, already having answers to the other people's questions. Great dialogue, and it's absolutely the community that I had hoped to build when we first started all this stuff. So thank you guys so much for fulfilling that and continuing to share all of this stuff so we can continue to grow this network and make this platform even bigger and reach a lot larger audience. Um, so thank you guys for all the dialogue and the support. So it's been pretty incredible. Um, Man, it's really everything that I wanted it to be, and the feedback that I'm getting from people with getting positive trending in their testing and getting good scan results and stuff. It really it touches my heart. Gosh, it's so cool. It's real cool to hear the feedback. So thank you guys for doing that, and thank you guys for continuing to participate. And just to it's I'm pretty excited about it. Hey, you guys can find us on just about every social media platform. We are in the process of transferring a lot of stuff over to Brighteon.com. That's I've been doing a lot of research and because we've been getting censored a little bit, so I wanted to find a platform that I didn't have to worry about the censorship, and we could be free to speak about whatever we wanted to. And I I think that I found that in Brighteon.com. So Brighteon.com. So that I'm excited about that too. So it's we added another and also rumble.com. All of our stuff is being transferred there too. So you can find all of our videos on there, and our Facebook group page. Our Facebook group page is where you can find all the documentation that we cite for all these episodes. The information that we're passing is all supported by clinical evidence. This information you could find on our Facebook group page, just so you're able to track the conversation as we go along. Um, so I hope I hope everybody's been enjoying the content. Um, I just wanted to talk a little bit today um, about a few things that don't have anything to do with medicine, really. But of course, I got to give you my all-time disclaimer that I'm not a doctor. I'm actually, you know what? I got a PhD in logic and common sense. And listen, I didn't go to school for any of this stuff. I'm not a doctor. I'm a United States Marine. And I was diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer. And after 3 years of Western medicine treatment, chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, I've went through it all. Um, they exhausted all of their efforts. They had nothing left to throw at me, and I was actually referred to hospice, and that was it. That was the end of my journey with the doctors. And well, that I didn't like that. I didn't uh, I didn't like that narrative. So what I did was I didn't like the narrative, so I did something to change it. I I I took I stopped the presses. I stopped the presses, and I made a change. and I had to change the narrative so I could control the outcome. And what I did was I just wasn't satisfied. I wasn't convinced that my battle was over. I felt like I had so much more fight left in me. And even though the Western medicine had failed at that point, it didn't mean that I needed to succumb to their narrative. I just I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready for that. So I actually was I got to work. I got to work and I was able to actually come up with some research that revealed, and this is all research that was done by Western medicine, major cancer institutions, uh, right here in the United States. So I got into this research and I just started digging and digging and digging. I was able to come up with a handful of ingredients that were all proven out by Western medicine. There was a clinical trial or clinical research studies done on each one of these ingredients, and I was able to find a solution to my disease by taking uh, repurposed medicine. And the repurposed medicine that I took, it was comprised of 5 different ingredients. I call it my cancer cocktail. Kind of a cute little thing, reference that I made. It's fenbendazole, which is a antiparasitic medicine. Cimetidine, which is the active ingredient in Tagamet, if you're familiar with that, acid reflux. AHCC, which is active hexose correlated compound. It's a collection of mushrooms. Get it right over the counter. Curcumin, which anybody who has cancer is probably familiar with curcumin. The curcumin is it's an anti-inflammatory. Most cancer patients are familiar with it, or at least have heard about it before. Annatto. Annatto is there's a couple different parts of vitamin E, and annatto is it's really the only part that we really want from the vitamin E. It's the only good part of the vitamin E that complements the rest of these ingredients. And so you have your vitamin, your annatto, curcumin, AHCC, cimetidine, and fenbendazole is your 5 ingredient my cancer cocktail. And folks, that's what I took. I took it the day that they referred me to hospice. I started taking that, and 6 weeks into taking that cocktail, I I was 50% less disease. It was a scan revealed, a scan that was scheduled that I wasn't even supposed to be alive for. It was 6 weeks in. 6 weeks in, I was 50% less disease. They're all scratching their head. So they said, hey, we're going to give you another scan. 14 weeks into me taking this cocktail, a scan revealed no evidence of disease. I don't know. Um, maybe it was a residual effects from their chemotherapy, years later. But I don't know if that's what worked for me. But then other people took it and it worked for them. And then more people took it and it worked for them. And so it just I in my heart of hearts, I truly believe that this is a solution to the disease of cancer. But honestly, I feel like there's many solutions. I don't feel like this is the end all be all by any means. And I think that there's many solutions that we should continue to explore because this was what worked for me and it's what worked for so many other people. However, I know a lot of things that work for so many other people. And I want to continue the conversation, and to be clear, I don't vilify Western medicine. I'm not against Western medicine. Western medicine is great. I love my doctors. And hell, they kept me alive. They kept me alive for long enough to find the solution in repurposed medicine. And you know what? People say, oh, well, the chemotherapy didn't work. No, the chemotherapy worked. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It suppressed the disease long enough for a solution to be found. And make no mistake about it, that's the job of chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is never supposed to, it was never intended to cure cancer. Now it controls it. It keeps it dormant, it suppresses it until cancer cells adapt to the medicine and then it stops working. So they got to change the chemo and then it works for a little bit longer and then it keeps it dormant and then the cancer cells adapt again and it stops working. And this is a perpetual cycle. It's peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. So when it it does exactly what it's supposed to do. So I don't vilify Western medicine. I think my doctors are all heroes. You know, they did exactly what they were taught to do. The problem comes not in the doctors, not in the hospitals or whatever. The problem comes in the system. And I feel that these doctors are brilliant and they're doing exactly what they went to school for within the parameters of the curriculum that they were taught. The problem is that they're indoctrinated from that point. Big Pharma wrote the curriculum. Big Pharma is making the bullets and the bandages. So quite naturally, they want to stay at war. They're teaching people how to do um, how to administer a cure, and they're making the cure. So quite naturally, you know, they're gonna want people to stay sick, you know. So, but listen, that's not what today's episode is about. That's enough of me. Uh, enough of the rant about Western medicine and the evil stuff that is stuffed into the cracks of that topic, you know. So, hey, folks, listen, you found us for a reason, and the reason is because this stuff works, and I don't encourage anybody to limit themselves to one thing or another. If you have options, use them all, explore them all. Okay. Don't let anybody say, oh, well, you know, don't do this and you should do that. No, don't ever turn your nose up at anything. Keep it all out on the table. Keep it all out on the table. And that's what today is going to be about. Actually, I want to talk about you put all your thoughts out on the table. And then as the situation surfaces, you take each one of those thoughts and you put them up on the wall and up on the board or whatever you want to say. And that's really, you know, how things to me in my mind, that's how I put things in their place, you know. But kind of what I wanted to talk about today is getting your mind right and and how it's essential when facing adversity. That's a big deal. And also part of getting your mind right is being able to compartmentalize the things that are going on in your life. And I mentioned it before in previous episodes that your support circle is going to help shield you from other things or whatever. But you can't be shielded from everything. Life still happens. And in the case of a sick person, that life happening, you need to field it like a shortstop. You need to field those ground balls like they're shorts, like you're a shortstop. For the Derek Jeter, you are Hall of Famer, shortstop for the New York Yankees. You're just fielding them. You know, I think Ozzie Smith was great too, right? So I think he was second base. Anyway, you're fielding it like an athlete does a shortstop would field a ground ball. Each one of these things you're going to put into their place as things come at you. You're going to categorize each one of these things, right? So I I was talking to somebody the other day, and I I I don't know where it came from. It just kind of popped up in my head. I said that you got to be the landlord of your own thoughts. And in my mind, how I think about, when you compartmentalize, I think of that as like, because the word sounds the same, I guess, similar or whatever. I think of it in my mind like my mind is an apartment building, and all of these issues have their own apartment. And each one of these apartments are in the building, and I am the super. I'm the building manager, right? I'm the building manager, the landlord, so to speak. And I have to put all these fires out and address all the issues and everything like that. So I think that it's important that you are the landlord of your own thoughts. And that is having the ability to compartmentalize things as they surface so you can stay focused on the task at hand. And for the purpose of this conversation, the task at hand is to battle cancer. So let me hear your war cry. Oh my goodness, you gotta get your mind right. Listen, you have to get your mind right, or you're never going to be able to face adversity. You've heard me say it before. It's not about how many punches you can take, it's how many punches you can take and keep moving forward. It's how much you can take and keep moving forward to the objective. And the objective is defeating this evil demon of cancer, right? Every aspect of it, the physical aspect, the mental aspect, and all the aspects. Okay. Because listen, adversity does not build character. I hear people, oh, that which doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Well, listen, this shit will kill you. So that which doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Okay. Adversity doesn't build character, it reveals character. The character that's already instilled inside of you. Now is the time to reach down, do a little bit of soul searching, reach down inside of you and find that resilient mindset. Find your ability to focus on solutions rather than dwelling on all of the problems. It's about embracing the struggle. Embrace the suck, they say, right? Learning from everything that happens as things come, as things come at you, you learn from these things. You set them in the compartment or in their own apartment in your building that is inside of your head. So all these things are just, there are no category 5 hurricanes. All right. I know every category 5 hurricane that comes around, there's a whole bunch of new rules that are attached with the aftermath. How we improve ourselves based on what we've learned from the last catastrophic storm. Well, of course, and I'm referring to Florida because that's where I'm at in Florida. So instead of attaching all these rules to the aftermath of the catastrophe, you know, instead of becoming the victim, because people have a real tendency to do that. when they're putting their lives back together after a hurricane. They become the victim. Oh, woe is me. Listen, you're not a victim. This is just something that happened. You know, you're not. Oh, woe is me. I got sick. Listen, I could be a victim. It's so much easier to be a victim than it is to be a warrior. Getting back in the fight, it it means that you have to reach within yourself and find the courage to persevere. You got to stay determined. You got to keep your nose to the grind. Grindstone, is that what they say? Keep your nose to the grindstone. Never give up on the objective here. All right. No matter when you're in battle and you're taking on fire, you're supposed to progress upon the target, advance on the target. So as you're taking fire, instead of running the other way, you're advancing. You're advancing to the target, right? So no matter how crazy it seems, you got to continue towards the objective. Don't ever give up. Uh, no matter how crazy the journey it might seem. Um, I got to tell you, it's probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. It's your opportunity to own it. This is, show me who you are. Harness your mental fortitude, and press forward no matter what. Have an unwavering determination, knowing that every setback is an opportunity and every obstacle is a chance to prove your resilience. It's you're not always going to in the course of this journey, you're not always going to get good news. The numbers aren't going to change like you want them to. You may have some unrealistic expectations. You may be you may be misinterpreting some things. That's always a possibility. You know, there's other things that come into play. There's a lot of collateral things that occur when you're in battle. You have the kids in school got problems. The wife or the husband doesn't doesn't understand something. They're not coping well with something. Uh, your doctors, want you to do certain things. Your doctor's appointments, your insurance, your landlord, the mortgage, the whatever. There's a million other things. Oh, your boss at work, the time that you need off, the bills that are coming in, all these things come into play. And it really drains your mental energy. And you have to be able to triage your thoughts. You have to be able to triage your thoughts and organize them based on their urgency and importances, the importance of each. It's like sorting through a cluttered room, identifying what needs immediate attention and what can wait and what can be discarded altogether. I just got into a huge project with my wife cleaning out our garage, and she wants to save this, save that. You don't know if we're going to need this or we might need that. It's funny because then I saw a Geico commercial the other day, and it says that the guy was saying, how to not be like your parents or whatever, and the guy's standing in a dumpster and he's having people throw away their old trim just in case they might use it, or a Kleenex, cover, for the box. It's just funny, how people hoard things, But listen, you gotta sort the clutter out. All right, identify what needs the immediate attention and what can wait, because a lot of stuff can wait. By by practicing the mental triage, you you can allocate the mental energy that you need. Excuse me. You can allocate that mental energy more effectively, focusing on addressing the immediate concerns, mainly your health, the decisions that have to be made for your treatment care, your scheduling, your uh, the logistics of you getting to and from the hospital, whatever. That stuff, might need to take a priority. Something like you be the judge of it, but you're going to need to prioritize things and do a mental triage of sorts, right? This approach, it'll help prevent the overwhelming, and well, it allows you to make a better decision, better decision making. Um, and I got to tell you, usually when I'm putting out fires, if I have my room in order, if my life is in order when I'm trying to put out fires or things that are affecting or trying to affect my life, I kind of feel like I'm able to do that a, a, a little bit with a more of a clearer mind. Um, my decision making is a little bit more clear. I'm able to solve my problems a little bit easier. It's just it ultimately leads to a clearer and more organized mindset. But I do think that it's imperative that you become the landlord of your own thoughts. Don't allow things to become overwhelming. Always compartmentalize the thoughts that you have and try to address each one in the order of importance. And this will maybe help you approach each moment of adversity with a little bit more of a clear mind. Listen, folks, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I think it's very important that we exercise some mental health and mental triage because it's easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to get overwhelmed when you're dealing with life in addition to the battle that you have against cancer. So, hey, listen, don't forget my five ingredient protocol, which is my my cancer cocktail that I refer to: fenbendazole, samidodine, AHCC, curcumin, annatto, and I will see you guys next week. Please share everything. Keep subscribing. Keep the dialogue going. Keep promoting this page and promoting this platform. Keep supporting everything. Share the information. Save somebody with cancer and keep fighting your battle. And we'll see you guys next